Table of Contents, Part 1, about 2 sections. 1. The theater of perception. 2. The story of a target. From space, our world is a silent spectacle of light. Continents studded with city lights like neural networks. A single city glowing like a constellation. These are the hubs of human activity, commerce, culture, power. Not just physical infrastructure, trade routes, communication lines, but an intricate, invisible web of stories, perceptions, shared beliefs. In the 21st century, this web is the primary arena of power, a theater where battles are fought not with armies, not with navies, but with narratives. Historically, power was tangible: territory, resources, military might. A nation's strength counted in battalions. Today, power has transformed. More fluid, more abstract, far more pervasive. Power now operates in the space between events, in the silence between official statements, in the collective imagination. We navigate an information landscape that travels at the speed of light. A rumor born in a distant capital can roil global markets before the sun rises elsewhere. A carefully worded statement, its deliberate absence. This reality demands a different awareness. See power not in what is done, but what is believed to be happening. It relies on anticipation, on our tendency to fill a void with fears or expectations. Look beyond headlines and official communiques. Examine the undercurrents of narrative that drive them. Power is now about controlling the story. In this silent global drama, the most potent weapon is not a missile, but a meticulously crafted perception. The ultimate victory is not conquering a city. It is conquering the minds of those who watch from afar, waiting for the next act to unfold. In this new global theater, a powerful and recurring narrative often takes center stage. It is the story of the next target. This phrase does not necessarily refer to a physical location destined for attack. Instead, it represents a focal point for global anxiety, a symbol onto which the world projects its tensions and uncertainties. The target becomes a character in a story, a narrative construct that serves a strategic purpose. It is less a geographical coordinate and more a psychological destination. The symbolic power of Iran is not a modern invention. It is anchored in a long and complex history. The 1953 coup, the 1979 revolution, the ensuing hostage crisis. This history provides a rich, pre-written script for new narratives of conflict. When tensions rise, media and political discourse draw on those past events. Historical context is a critical tool for narrative building. It gives the why behind any speculative what. We live in an era defined by unprecedented speed. Information, once scarce, now moves at the speed of light. This acceleration has created the age of uncertainty. In this age, rumors, leaks, unverified claims travel exponentially faster than verification. A whisper in a forgotten corner of the internet can become a global headline in hours, long before official sources can confirm or deny it. Modern media ecosystems have given rise to powerful echo chambers. When a rumor about geopolitical tension enters such a space, it is met with confirmation. It aligns with pre-existing biases and is accepted and shared with greater speed and conviction. The rumor becomes evidence, validation of a worldview, repeated by commentators, shared across networks. The original source becomes irrelevant. What matters is that the story feels true. In a world saturated with constant communication, the most powerful statement a government can make is often no statement at all. By refusing to confirm, refusing to deny, refusing to clarify, refusing to comment, a powerful state creates a deliberate void. This empty space does not stay empty. It acts as a powerful vacuum, drawing in anxieties, projections, and strategic calculations of every other actor. This strategy, known as strategic ambiguity, weaponizes uncertainty. The absence of information forces other nations, financial markets, and media outlets to operate on pure speculation. They must game out every scenario. The burden of interpretation is shifted entirely onto the observer. Is the silence negotiation or the quiet before a storm? This forces adversaries and allies into a reactive posture, responding to a threat that has not been defined but is powerfully felt. Nowhere is the power of silence more immediately felt than in global financial markets. Markets thrive on information and predictability. When a major geopolitical narrative builds and powers respond with silence, predictability vanishes. What replaces it is pure uncertainty. Traders rush to fill the vacuum with risk. The price of the unknown is calculated and hedged against, sending ripples through the global economy. The absence of clear statement is interpreted as the most negative signal. Energy markets are first to react. A fear premium is added to every barrel. Stock markets show volatility. Capital flows to traditional safe havens, gold, government bonds. This market reaction becomes part of the narrative. Financial data validates the story of impending conflict, creating a powerful feedback loop. The market's fear reinforces public fear. The deliberate silence of a superpower sends a complex message to allies. Alliances are built on trust and shared understanding. Allies in the region become particularly anxious. They wonder whether they will be supported, consulted, or treated as footnotes in a larger game. This forces allied nations to reassess their positions. They can no longer rely on assumed security guarantees. They must plan to act alone. A country might begin to hedge its bets, quietly opening lines with the very adversary at the center of the narrative, calling for de-escalation. The silence also serves as a loyalty test. A superpower can observe which allies remain steadfast and which begin to waver under uncertainty. For allies, it's a perilous balancing act. Too much support might drag them into unwanted conflict. Too much dissent might alienate their protector. When governments fall silent, the public imagination runs wild. In the absence of facts, people fill the void with narrative. We are storytelling creatures. When faced with lack of information about potential threat, we construct our own stories. These narratives are rarely optimistic. They are built from fragments, speculative reports, volatile market data, historical context of conflict, fed by social media and echo chambers. This public speculation influences behavior on mass scale. People change travel plans, avoiding entire regions out of perceived risk. There's a subtle change in public spaces, airports, train stations. Security seems more present, travelers more watchful. This is the psychological cost of living in permanent anticipation. The narrative can escape control, becoming widespread panic or pressure for action. When the world believes a superpower is preparing for something, the global landscape fundamentally shifts. This is the heart of the American question. The United States exists under unique global microscope. Its actions, even perceived intentions, carry disproportionate weight. The narrative is built on subtle signal accumulation, movement of naval assets, activation of supply chains, unannounced envoy visits. These signals are gathered by analysts, amplified by media, woven into compelling story. The narrative doesn't need to be true to be effective, only plausible. Once the idea that America is getting ready takes hold, it triggers a cascade of reactions. Adversaries must treat perception as reality. This transforms the nature of power projection. The act of being seen to prepare becomes as powerful as the act of striking itself. Classic deterrence was built on clear, credible threat of overwhelming force. In the information age, deterrence has become far more nuanced. It's no longer just about demonstrating military capability, but shaping the perceptual environment of a potential adversary. This new deterrence relies on strategic ambiguity. Instead of clear red lines, the superpower cultivates profound unpredictability. By allowing rumors to circulate without comment, it forces adversaries to grapple with wide spectrum of outcomes. Will the response be surgical strike, full invasion, cyber attack, economic pressure? The inability to answer creates decision-making paralysis. An adversary cannot plan a countermove if it doesn't know the nature of the initial move. The narrative also serves to isolate the adversary diplomatically. As the story gains traction, other nations are forced to choose sides. A dominant narrative around a symbolic pressure point like Iran does not remain localized. It spreads like a contagion, transmitted through interconnected networks of finance, media, diplomacy. This is the global ripple effect. This contagion is driven not by physical events, but by transmission of perception. A manufacturer in Southeast Asia may have no political stake in Middle Eastern tensions. The ripple effect is most tangibly felt in disruption of the world's essential lifelines, energy markets, shipping routes. When a story centers on critical choke points, Strait of Hormuz, Suez Canal, it forces fundamental rethinking of global connections. Energy markets react first. A narrative of tension adds fear premium to every barrel. This triggers frantic recalibration of supply and demand. When a powerful narrative of impending conflict takes hold, its effects escape controlled environments and seep into daily life. When society has lived under undefined threat long enough, heightened alert becomes the new baseline. The quiet streets, economic anxiety, pervasive anticipation cease to be temporary. They integrate into expected rhythm of life. People become habituated to tension, adapting routines to a world that feels permanently on the brink. When narrative escapes control, it generates its own economic tremors, independent of any official action. Initial market volatility gives way to sustained economic reality. Perception of risk becomes embedded in the economy's foundations. Businesses make real-world decisions based on assumption that instability is the new normal. A company relying on imports sees insurance costs skyrocket. The ultimate consequence of uncontrolled narrative is erosion of the very concept of normalcy. When society has lived under undefined threat long enough, heightened alert becomes the new baseline. This creates a society that is fundamentally more brittle and less resilient. Constant psychological stress wears down social trust and collective optimism. The impossibility of returning to normal traps society in liminal state, forever waiting for climax that never arrives. This is strategically debilitating. While strategic implications are vast, we must not overlook the profound human cost of living in permanent anticipation. This cost is not measured in casualties, but in persistent anxiety. Not in destroyed infrastructure, but in eroded trust and diminished hope. Ultimately, the cost of living in permanent anticipation is theft of the present moment. A world holding its breath is a world unable to live fully. As we draw this reflection to a close, we return to the central theme. The nature of power in our modern world has irrevocably shifted. Throughout this analysis, we have seen how narratives, perceptions, and strategically crafted stories can exert force equal to conventional military or economic might. The simulation we explored, centered on Iran, was not a story of war, but about the threat of war. This is the essence of power without a shot. And so, we are left with a final, unsettling question. As we trace the path of the narrative, from whispered origins to global impact, we must ask, was there ever a target, or was there only a story? Did the vast machinery of global power mobilize for real conflict? Or was the entire spectacle a performance? The question reveals the profound ambiguity at the heart of modern power. The fact that we cannot definitively answer it is, perhaps, the entire point. The target may have been a place on a map, or it may have been a construct in our minds. But the story, and the power it wielded, was undeniably real. Was there ever a target? Or was there only a story?